this morning I got up bright and early, sprayed a couple loads out with Big Brute. So far so good. A lot of weeds growing. It's amazing. There'd be no water out there, but somehow the weeds managed to find it. It is on chem follow, and the chem follows technically should have water because, well, that's the whole point of chem follow, is we're keeping stuff from growing on it, so that water's there available for the next crop that we put in. Hopefully this fall, if it's winter wheat, and if not, next spring crop. So, but they just brought another load of gravel on the road right here. I lightly graded this one down. I really got to work it, and then he just dumped another one right there. So I got to bring the grade over here, clean that up, get this road into chip shop shape, chip into really good shape. So that way, you guys can get it out of here without making a massive dust cloud like it's been. And I see the guys are working on the foundation, so I'll find out what's going on there. I think we're gonna pull the forms off those footings, then I'm gonna have to use the loader and help backfill some dirt and then some gravel. And then I'll see what the next plan is, talking to the master. So let's keep grinding. Foundation's all cleared out. Footing forms are off. So Jimmy's in the skid steer inside there. He's working it. I'm bringing him dirt. So I figured the fastest thing to get this done is use the big 544 to scoop out of the bank here, dump it in there, and then he'll work his magic. Makes sense? Let's keep working. Right there, and just can't keep oil in that thing. Oh, you're ridiculous. Yeah. So Jimmy's packing it down with the SV340, and I got him a big pile right here to work with. That should be enough to hopefully finish this area right here. This will eliminate the need for a lot of gravel. We still got to put a bunch of gravel in here before the foundation goes down, and we have that up top. But rather than using all gravel, we have free dirt that's kind of wet because I'm digging out of the bank that sat there. So it'll pack nice, really nice. Hello there. Didn't expect you this afternoon. Some very small pea hails dropping, but not enough to do any damage. I almost kind of wish it would, because we have decent hail insurance this year, and it might actually be better off if we got hailed out. But anyways, we'll just hang tight for a second. It's keeping the dust down. It was getting pretty bad around here, so this is not a bad thing. It just might be a little sloppy. That could be a bad thing. What is this stuff? Oh man, we just got 2/10 of rain here, and it is a sloppy mess at the house site. Woo! All right, let's find out how far 2/10 of rain goes in the ground. Everyone's like, oh, you got a rain, there's puddles. See? All right, so your plants are doing great. Let's find out. All right, these little guys, this guy's still green. He could use some moisture. How far down is that moisture? Right there. So if you look at that, that moisture went down about a 1/2 inch, 2/10. And the roots of that plant are probably starting at 1 inch. So basically 2/10 of rain didn't really do a thing for these plants. I think they'll get some, but that's why, like, when you get these little rains here and they're like, oh, there's puddles, there's gotta be helping the crop. You really need 3 to 4/10 to get that rain down to the root structure, and then anything above that is just cherry on the cake. But I'm still very thankful. I'm not dissing this rain, believe me. I'm just trying to show you that's all that 2/10 did. Now it is going to soak a little further down, and that might open up on us too. So, but it smells good. It smells really good. All right, let's take a look at the damage. Oh yeah. We're short a little bit of gravel. We'll have more brought in probably tomorrow. As they're graveling my road, I'm gonna have them drop off a good, what is it, 30 some yard or 30 some ton right here. And then we'll use that to finish this out as well as the garage. But this is nice. This is really nice. So I'm gonna run some tape around in a couple spots to make sure we're on track for the shape and everything. I know the footing's already in, it's kind of late to change stuff, but you can still shift walls around. But yeah, they'll be back in a few days. So we'll get back at it then. Getting to some of the utilities at my new house site. And so what I've got to figure out is I've got to get a water meter put in because I'm gonna be using water off a municipal water line. And I need to have a meter for them, and I need a meter housing under the ground somewhere that's below the frost line. I know you're probably looking at this tire going, I wonder what you're thinking there. Well, the thing is, I don't really want to buy a big old concrete vault to put just a little meter in, and culverts, to buy a big old culvert to have enough room to work around in case you got to climb down and do something to the meter or work on it or change it out. It's kind of hard. And so I was like, well, let's repurpose some of these old Bud tires that we have, because we've got a pile of them. So I'm going to take the sidewall out, cut it like this, and then I'll take two of these and stack them on top of each other, and that'll be over 6 feet tall or 6 feet deep. And I'll make a spot in the ground there, drop one in, line will go in, the meter, back out, go underneath, put a tire on top, I'll bolt the beads or the sidewalls together, and then figure out a nice lid for the top, and you won't hardly even see those tires there, and they'll last forever. Is that smart or dumb? Smart. Reusing junk. Got it. This is the bottom. We'll do right here. Perfect. You're a little squishy. What do you think, Mav? Got it figured out too? Good. Glad you're here with me. Maverick. He's my buddy. A little sketchy. If nobody sees it, it's not sketchy. So nobody's gonna see it. That's a lot of weight hanging off the end of that loader. Poor thing. It's a little front heavy right now. In fact, when I drive down here, it's definitely gonna tip forward. So I'm gonna attempt to let the bucket drag down as I go, and then we'll hopefully set it down into place, unhook the chains, and be able to back out.
Okay, kids, don't try this at home.
All right, level check. That's what I wanted. I wanted a slight slope to the output side that goes to the house. That's the suction side. Let's see what this is like. Just a slight lean to the right, but that's fine. Oh, it's really close. That'll work. Okay, so that's in from the positive pressure side into my meter house, so you guys can see here. So the pipe's already in there. I'll put one underneath, fuse it with the new meter inside there. It's gonna come out, actually, it's gonna come out, branch off a T, it goes right to the house for the 20 some pounds of pressure I'll get off the main line. And then it'll T again. That T is gonna go over and hit the inside of the cistern, which will be on a float, so it'll keep this always full. And then the end of that T is then gonna go to a frostless water faucet, which will stick up here be the ground, so you can turn that on and off. So for some reason, the float quits working, I can put a garden hose on that and put it inside the riser here and fill it. All right. Okay, that one step closer. All right, let's piece her together. All right, here's how we're sitting. So, 1.25 inches. This is into the tank. Down 90 to a T. The T is going to run this way, which is going to go into my awesome meter house. So the meter will be inside there. Underneath there, it'll come out from the meter, come into this T, and then to this T, and that feeds the inside of the cistern, which will have the float in it. That T then runs over to here to a 90 stainless steel, which will then go to our frostless fire hydrant, which I have over there somewhere. And that's going to go straight up here out of the ground. And then this T here, which with the way that thing was designed, I could not put it in there without having some kind of an angle on it. So the hose will have to come up a little bit and then come back down. I'll just use dirt to fill around it. It'll be fine. That one then runs direct to the house, which will be through there. And then out of the back side, 90 out of the 1.25 inch, this is the suction line from the cistern, and that goes to the house. So that's the primary line the house is going to use. That's going to have the pump on it, and it's going to come through the reservoir, the cistern. That line there is my fail safe. That's going to go to the house. So for some reason my cistern pump fails, or I don't know, for whatever reason that system is down, but I still have water pressure off that main line over there, which is about 20 pounds, what they told me I'll get, 25 or less. That'll be enough to run toilets and sinks. So that's my fail safe. So those will both run to the house. They'll have valves in the house to flip between the two, and that way I can pressurize my house with 20-some pounds if I need it. And if I don't need it, I'll never use it. But at least it's there. I have one chance to do it. Why not? Poly's cheap. Run 2 lines. Fail safe. Now I'm not going to put that line on yet and that line on yet until I backhoe that out and measure the exact distance to where it's going to go into the mechanical room in the house. Then when I get that figured out, I'll cut the line, lay it in, fuse, and then bury that. And then put my frostless hydrant in, bury that. And this one I'm not going to do until I get the meter. I don't have the meter yet. But when I get the meter, then I'll figure out how that thing fits, because I got to neck it down to 1.25 inch. It's 3/4 inch fittings. Get all that figured out inside there, and then come out and then finish that. And then all this can be buried up to so high. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to run my power a couple feet above the water in the same trench, or cut a whole new trench. But I've got power right there, and as well as gas, which is right here. It's going to go across to a regulator over there, and then that's going to go across. And I think I'm going to keep that one in its own separate trench. So you guys can tell me what I should do after I've done it, and then I'll think about doing it. All right, a year later, and the ICFs have finally left their home in the little grain bin side over there and are heading to the site. And you had these things there. When Leg Arms bought his, I ordered the same amount and bought them mine too, because I figured the price was going to go up. And they've been sitting there this whole time, so they're kind of yellowed by the sun, but they'll work out fine. Let's get in there. And there's a thunderstorm rolling in right behind me too. So yeah, we might get shut down for a little bit. We'll see how it goes. There we go. Rain, rain, rain. There's beehives all over this stuff. Bumblebees, big ones. All right, no bee stings. Let's get out of here. There goes another gravel truck. So we were getting about 3/4 of the driveway done. So I gotta go and take the grader and knock it down again. I'll show you guys the update on that, but it's been a lot of like, truck shows up, run the grader out, knock the mound down, then he goes, and he comes back, we do it all over again. But let's take a look at the build site. I've also got a lot of goodies going on down here. What a mess of pipes and hoses and everything. But I'm trying to make sense of it, and I'm trying to keep a layout that it's not gonna regret down the road. Guess I gotta dig something up. So I'll show you guys, come over here. So my gas line came in right over here. Originally, I dug it in and ran all the way around into the side of the front of the house. We decided it's a bad idea because there's gonna be concrete poured for the patio and a bunch of other stuff. We didn't want to run a gas line underneath that. So I teed it in here, dug down, cut it, refused it, ran it over. Then right here is gonna come up, be my regulator, and then it's gonna drop back down, some valves and whatnot. It's gonna take off and head that way to the house and enter the side of the house, which will then enter black pipe through the house to the mechanical room. And then obviously I have the whole water situation going on here. And then I got power, which is right here. It's gonna come over. I think I'm gonna come alongside the gas and then go across, and I'll probably use a trencher for that then. So I'm digging everything else deeper, and then the power will be the most shallow part, and that'll go across. And they're all gonna come to the corner of the house over there where I'll have to figure out how to deal with. So it's gonna be interesting. Go for a walk, follow me. All right, here's the madness again. So what I changed Got my frostless fire hydrant now in that corner back there, so if something ever happens when I gotta dig it up, I won't be digging into all this madness here. Fuse the 2 lines that run to the house, the one that's got the 20 plus PSI, and the one that's got the, will be the suction side for the house cistern pump, which will be inside there. Got this cut down at least 7 feet deep. I'm not walking through there because you know what that's about. So, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bury this section here since there's no seams in this pipe. I don't have to worry about testing anything, so we can bury that. Oh man, what a mess. I'm making a mess of things here. All right, let's get to the house. See the 2 lines enter the footing right there? We'll also have power in this area and gas. The crew's gotten the ICFs mostly built up with the bracing. This is a special kit to keep these walls nice and true because these forms, they can move a little bit when you're filling them full of mud. So this will keep it nice and square, so that way we won't have any wavy walls in our basement. I gotta dig down the lines. They run into the house here, so they'll be under the foundation. So the 2 water lines will run over here, which will be the mechanical room right in this area. I left an extra like 20 feet because I figured why not? It's cheap. So I'll rough that in tomorrow. We got the plumber coming and we're gonna start roughing in all the septic system, all the drains for all the bathrooms, the kitchen, the laundry room, all that good stuff. So that'll be nice to have all that done. And then we'll bury it with the gravel. And I think in a couple days they'll get ready to pour this. So we're making good progress, but it's just been a lot of slow tinkering with all the plumbing side of stuff. Once I get all that wrapped up, I can bury a bunch of it and start helping them here. There's my view, Sweetgrass Hills. Right there, look out our main windows and we'll be seeing that. Of course, this is a daylight basement, so I'll not be really looking at it from here, but I gotta excavate out a bunch of ground here to make this a nice level lawn. But all that is gonna go backfill behind all these walls. Is it all gonna be the right amount? Absolutely, I figured it out. Okay, roughing in day of the plumbing. Let's get this plumbing in the ground. I got the plumber on site. I'm running the backhoe and the shovel. We're gonna see if we can get this thing all put in. All right, welcome back. So, lots been going on. Been working with the plumber, roughing in all the subfloor sewer system, and we're making good progress. I'll show you that in a second. There's biting flies out here tonight, so if I start swatting at stuff randomly, you'll know what that is. I'll show you what's going on in my little utility dig site here. I'm just about close to burying this thing. So what I did, I went ahead and put about, I don't know, 600 gallons in there or something like that, just enough to get above the inlet and outlet. Yes, there is mud on the ground, but that's because I didn't have a long enough hose to fill the tank from the water truck, so I had to spray it into the hole. It splattered. But with all that, what I'm doing now is I'm just checking for leaks. So tomorrow when I come out here and it's all dried up, if there's a couple wet spots that definitely have obvious drainage happening from some of these fittings that I put together, then I'll have to address that and fix that. I got my meter house all set up and ready. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's ready for the meter. This is a mock-up meter that I had. It's a junky one that the city had that's all broke, so they gave that to me to use for the purpose of mocking up my setup. But it's ready to go. The unions are all ready. Everything's set up. I just finished putting up my gas. So this is my natural gas line. Comes in from right there, runs around up to here, into the valve, up into the regulator, which takes it from like I think 15 pounds down to 4 or 5 pounds PSI. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but somewhere in that area. And then I have 2 ports here just in case if an outbuilding is put up out here and I want to run gas to it, I have the ability to do that. Another valve to shut off in case I got to do some of this regulator change out. Then it drops back down. This is black pipe to stainless fittings. all the way up my trench, and I am just about ready to bury this thing. I only had enough black pipe to get it this tall. I had like 10 feet of it, so I'm gonna probably, as I bury this, lift up on it a little bit, just kind of work this up, because I'm gonna backfill a lot of this area. So this trench, let's follow this to the work site, the house site. So this is the gas line. Yes, I know that's not an orange gas line. Some of you guys are probably pulling your hair right now. Don't worry, I'll know what it is. And I'm the one that put it in, and I'm the one living in this house. And we had lots of this 1 1/4 black pipe. So we're using it because it's basically the exact same stuff, just different color. Oh no, don't worry. Okay, anyways, let's go inside. So here's my 2 water lines that run from over there. That one's gonna be running the cistern, main cistern off the pump in the house. That one's got the low pressure 20 some PSI, and someone boarded up my door here. Can I get through here? I guess the dog door, look at the dog door. So here's what we got so far. Let's start on this end over here. So we first used the backhoe, since we didn't have a mini excavator on site and there's no place to rent one within like 100 miles. We used the backhoe with a 2-foot bucket to dig this down, because that's the deepest trench we had to do. There's your double clean out to clean back upstream and downstream to the septic tank. So we managed to get under the footing, started that. This one runs up, runs over. This goes upstairs to the upstairs master bathroom. This one here runs up to the master bath toilet. That one there goes to the vanity, or not vanity, kitchenette, which is gonna be in a great room right here. So the kitchenette there. So that's all done. Then we run up here. This one right here is gonna go up to the upstairs bathroom, which is right there. So you got your 2-inch line, or sorry, 4-inch line main coming there, so we got plenty there. Runs off, branches, next down to 3-inch, which comes into the downstairs bathroom here. So we've got a vent, we've got the sink for the vanity, the toilet, a vent, and then your shower, which is right here. Sorry, the shower, this the tub, there'll be a tub right here, bathtub. Then it continues on down the floor to right here, we're at 45s, and we'll eventually turn and go that way for a floor drain and a drain for my high efficiency furnace, in-floor heat, boiler, instant hot water, water softener, all that good stuff. Plus, as I said, the floor drain, just in case something happens to spill there and goes down. So that'll all go that way. And this one, the plumber just recently put in, stops right here. This is gonna tee off, go into through the ICF walls up and into the garage for a sink in the garage. Then this one here is gonna go up to the kitchen, which will be right there. Does that make sense? It's a very, very, very hard ground. It got rained on a little bit the other day. It's been driven on. It is not fun to dig with a shovel. Pickaxe and shovels, but we sweated hard and got most of it done. Did use a trencher to trench, at least break up the ground, and then we just dug out. As you can see, like that's been trenched. So I just trenched it twice and then broke off the inside. So that sped things up. So anyways, we're making good progress. In about 3 days, there's gonna be a pump truck here and a bunch of cement trucks, concrete trucks, and they're gonna start pouring in the ICF walls. And then when that's done, either they'll start on the flat work on this floor, or they'll start framing for the garage. So, or not framing the forms for the footings for the garage. I suppose it's time to bury this thing. I do have some caution yellow tape over there that I was gonna hopefully put a bunch of dirt in here and lay that on top and then bury it again, so that way you hit that in case you're doing some digging. So it reminds you, oh yeah, that's right, that's where we put the gas line. The last utility, which I haven't mentioned, is the electric over there. It's just sitting there waiting. I don't know exactly the length I need for my primary to run into the house for the 200 amp service box, which is gonna go in there. So I'm holding off on that for right now, but because these are deep enough, I made sure that these are at least 5 to 6 feet deep. The water's 7 feet deep. Gas is 5 to 6 feet deep through a lot of this. That way, when it comes time to run the power in, I'll have all this buried, possibly built up higher by then, and I'll just use the trencher and trench it in 4 feet. So the main primary will go 4 feet into the primary secondary power, 4 foot into the house. Makes sense? So it should be safe. And I'm gonna try to put that right down the middle here. So it'll go gas, power, water. All right, you leaky beast, let's wake up. It is a leaker, and I know why it's leaking. I just gotta get it back to the shop to fix it. But for now, we'll just add a little oil along. We fixed a couple leaks, and then we found another, but we'll eventually get this thing tightened up. Let's get it, whoa, okay. Let's get it warmed up. Now I need to wash my windshield.
Definitely gonna have to fix these handle alignments here. And if I can get a little rotation out of that and get these to line up. We'll try it in a little bit.